Uh, Hello friends, in previous class we completed what is a centrifugal pump, what is the different classifications of centrifugal pump, what is the main components of centrifugal pump. Now we will discuss about the work done by the impeller or work done by the centrifugal. How much the work is developed by the centrifugal pump is nothing but actually the work is developed by centrifugal pump means how much the impeller is developed. So the centrifugal action is completely created on the impeller, that's why the work done in is also in the impeller. So now I am taking a blade of a impeller, a back curved blade. For example, this is a impeller I, this is a impeller I. Here there are the blades. So these are the blades of impeller. So I am taking one impeller here, one impeller here. So this is a back curved shape of impeller I am taking. So this is the outer radius of the impeller, this is the inner radius. This is the inner radius of impeller, this is the outer radius of impeller. So I am taking a small cut section of a impeller. That's why here I am shown as a I am showing a small impeller with its velocity triangle. So here one assumption is very important. The water enter to the impeller I is a axial direction. The leaving from the impeller is a radial direction. So whenever the fluid is enter axially, that means it is always parallel to the shaft axis. Nothing but the angle made by the inlet of liquid or fluid is 90 degrees. So whenever the alpha 1 is angle made by the impeller is 90 degrees, then VW1 will be 0. So then what happened? When alpha is 0, V1 is measured in VF1 and VW1 will be 0. All these things we already discussed in the turbines. So but in the Francis and the Kaplan turbine, alpha 2 is 90 degrees. Means the water leaving from the impeller or water leaving from the blade is 90 degrees. Whenever the alpha exit angle is 90 degrees, so VW1 will be 0 in the turbine. So V1 is measured in VF1. Same as in case of turbine, the pump is same as a similar, but in the turbine, the water leaving from the turbine blade or turbine runner is axial direction, but in the pump, the water is the fluid is entered, not water, the fluid is entered to the impeller is a axial direction, means perpendicular parallel to the shaft axis, that means 90 degrees to the angle. So when alpha 1 is 90, VW1 will be 0, V1 is measured in VF1. So all these things we should know in the previous chapters. So this is a inlet, this is a impeller I am taking, this is a radius, inner radius R1 and outer radius R2 of this impeller blade. So when the water is entering axial direction means V1. So when V1 is 90 degrees, that V1 is measured in flow velocity, therefore flow velocity and absolute velocity will be same. So this is the angle made by the impeller when water is entered to the impeller. So then whenever the water strikes on this impeller, means the suction is created due to when the shaft is rotating, the impeller also rotating. This means the blade is moving with a velocity u direction. So that is a u direction. In this direction is anti-clockwise direction. The blade is moving when the impeller is rotating. When the impeller is rotating means the blade is moving with a velocity u. That component we can shown in the velocity triangle as this parallel u. We can shown as in the velocity triangle as a horizontal component of blade velocity u1. So whenever absolute velocity v and u blade velocity or impeller velocity u is there, definitely there is a relative velocity of this combination. So the relative velocity is a combination of absolute velocity and blade velocity, as in the case of same in the case of turbines. So this is a relative velocity VR1. So the relative velocity is makes an angle beta 1. So the beta 1 is always makes an angle with the relative velocity with respect to the u1, and the alpha 1 is makes absolute velocity with respect to u. So this is a beta 1 is a absolute velocity, alpha 1 is a VR1 is a absolute velocity, V1 is a absolute velocity, VR1 is a relative velocity, V1 is the absolute velocity, Vf1 is the flow velocity, U1 is the blade velocity or impeller blade velocity. So alpha 1 makes with the V1 and beta 1 makes it always in the VR1. So I'm taking a tangent to the impeller at a inlet to the vane. So the tangent always you should do draw it parallel to the blade velocity. So same as well as a exit velocity triangle, also a tangent can be drawn with parallel to the blade velocity. So the water is entered, then the outlet velocity triangle will be the absolute velocity, the water will be leaving as absolute velocity V2 in the left side direction, and VR2 should be in the right side direction. So this is a total triangle. So when the V2 is there, when the VR2, so the blade velocity is the U2. So whenever VR2 is there, V2 is there, the total length will be U2. So many times I discussed about V2 and VR2 U2 in the same triangle. So V2 is there, VR2 is there, the total horizontal component as the blade velocity U2 is there. So then absolute velocity have the two components. One is a horizontal component, that is a whirl component, and another is a vertical component, that is a flow component. So vertical component is as well as a vertical component. This is a horizontal component. This much of this part is called a vertical horizontal component or whirl velocity. As well as a absolute velocity also at inlet also V1 is there, but a horizontal component of whirl velocity will be 0 when alpha 1 is 90 degrees. So this is a total inlet and outlet triangle of an impeller. So let us consider one by one. I will discuss about one. So let us n is equal to n is the speed of the impeller at rpm, d1 is the diameter of impeller at inlet, that is so d1, n is the speed of the impeller I am taking, d is equal to d1 is the diameter of impeller at inlet, that we called as a 2r1, and d2 I am taking as a 2r2, so 2 times of the radius, and u1 I am taking as a tan, u1 is a u1 and u2 I will be taking. U1 is nothing but the tangential velocity of an impeller blade, so that we can write as a pi d1 n by 60 meters per second, and u2 pi d2 n by 60 meters per second. So that we can write as a pi d1 we can write as a pi into d1 we can write as a 2r1 n by 60 meters per second. Again here 2r2 n by 60 meters per second. So 2 pi r n by 60 wait a minute. So this is a tangential velocity. Again omega is equal to, we can write as omega is the angular velocity, that is 2 pi n by 60. Yes, 2 pi n by 60. 2 pi n by 60. So we can write as a omega into r2 here. Here we can write as a omega into r1, because omega is the angular velocity 2 pi n by 60. So u1 we can write as a pi d n by 60, or pi d1 we can write as 2r1 n by 60. Again u2 we can write as pi d2 n by 60, we know that is meters per second. That we can write as a d2 is nothing but 2 times of radius 2r2 n by 60. So 2 pi n by 60 we call as a angular velocity of the blade or angular velocity of the impeller. So that we can write as a omega 2 pi rn 2 pi n by 60 into omega, that r1 is r1. So omega into r1 we can write as a u2 is we can write as omega into r2. These are the some terms in work done by the impeller or impeller terms. And so V1 is the absolute velocity of the impeller, and VR1 is the relative velocity of the impeller. U1 is a tangential component of impeller or blade velocity, and Vf1 is the flow component or resultant of flow absolute velocity Vf1, it is a vertical velocity, and Vw1 will be whirl component, and beta1 is the blade angle. So V2 is the absolute velocity at exit, VR2 is the relative velocity at exit, U2 is the blade velocity or tangent to the impeller velocity at U2 at exit, and alpha 2 is it makes an angle with the absolute velocity, beta 2 is a blade angle with makes an angle with VR2 relative velocity, and VW2 is the whirl velocity at exit, VF2 is the flow velocity at exit. These are the terms made by all by the impeller. So we will go for what is the work done by the impeller. So centrifugal pump is always it is a reverse phenomenon or reverse working of any turbine. So But centrifugal, as it is always a radial flow, or sorry, mixed flow turbine. So it is a reverse of mixed flow turbine. So mixed flow turbine, that is equal to, it's look like as a Francis turbine. So this operation, the centrifugal pump operation is always a reverse of Francis turbine. In case of a turbine, it is the hydraulic energy is the input energy, mechanical energy is the output energy. But in case of centrifugal pumps, mechanical energy is the input energy, it is converted into hydraulic energy as well as a pressure energy. That mechanical energy we are giving by using a motor. That motor, we should need a electrical energy. That electrical energy we supply a motor. That motor is converted electrical energy into mechanical energy. That mechanical energy of this pump is converted into hydraulic energy, then by pressure energy. So Francis turbine is giving a work is the Francis turbine, it gives the work, the centrifugal pump absorbs the work. So therefore the work done by the Francis turbine is the reverse of work done by the centrifugal pump. So I am erasing everything. I need more space for deriving this derivation. So therefore the work done by Francis turbine, the work done by, so I am writing work done by, work done per second, per unit weight per second, per unit weight per second of turbine. We know that work done per second is nothing but Fx into U, and unit weight per second we know the W per second. So work done per second is nothing but force into that horizontal component of velocity, blade velocity, by unit weight per second, unit weight per second. So I can write as a Fx, we know that rho A VR1 into work done VW1 minus VW2 into blade velocity U divided by, we can write as a W, weight is nothing but mass into acceleration or mass into gravity by second. So I can write here rho A VR1 into VW1 minus VW1. Since in the centrifugal pump, the inlet blade velocity, the impeller velocity and the exit impeller velocity should not be same. Means since U1 is not equal to U2, therefore that U is multiplied in both the cases, U1 minus VW2 into U2. And since we know that rho A m dot we can write as a rho A VR1. So m dot is a kg per second. So mass flow rate we can write as a rho A VR1. Therefore I can write as a m by s, this term we can write as a rho A VR1 into z. So rho A VR1 gets cancelled. The equation is VW1 U1 minus VW2 U2 divided by g. So this is a work done per second per unit weight per second of a turbine. So this is a work done. So we know that work done per second. So we deriving only for turbine, but we want to find out the work done by the pump. So I am erasing everything here. So work done per second per unit weight per second of pump. So the pump work is always negative of turbine work. Turbine work means nothing but opposite to the turbine work. Opposite means negative. So I can write as here minus of turbine work is VW1 U1 minus VW2 U2 divided by G. So I am writing here. So minus, I am transferring minus into inside the bracket. Then we can write as a VW2 U2 minus VW1 U1 divided by G. I can write. So then the final answer will be. So we know that according to velocity triangle, since we know that velocity triangle VW1 will be 0 because alpha 1 is 90 degrees. So then what happened when VW1 0, VW1 0 into U1 is 0, then VW2 U2 by G. This is a work done per second per unit weight per second. This much of work done is developed by the centrifugal pump impeller. So this is a final derivation of impeller, work done by the impeller. So we can, this formula we can write as two different formulas. Work done per second per unit weight per second is VW2 U2 by G. Another work done by the impeller on water per second. Work done per second by water per second we can write as a W by G into VW2 U2. This is the formula. So this is a work done per second per unit weight per second. This is work done per second per water per second is a W by Z, weight by accelerating gravity into VW2 into VW2 U2. So this is a work done by the impeller. So from here I can write as a W, we can write as a W specific of weight, we can write as a rho QG. So the formula for weight of this component, of weight component W, we can write as a rho QG, and at the end of we should know discharge of impeller or volume flow of impeller. So volume flow of impeller I can write here, volume flow or discharge of impeller we can write as a Q is equal to, we know that pi D1 B1 VF1 as in case of turbine, then pi D2 B2 VF2. This is a discharge equation of any radial flow pump or a turbine. So this formula already we discussed in the turbine, as we seen in the turbine, and pump is the same equation. So this is a work done by the impeller or a centrifugal pump. Okay. So in the next class we will discuss about the what are the different types of heads, what are the different type of efficiency, then by different numericals on centrifugal pump calculations. Okay, thank you.